All right, we got a lot of tournaments to recap. There's not much to talk about as far as the special event in Auckland. Although one thing I will mention is that the Raging Bolt, I don't know who it was, to be honest, I forget, but I saw their list on Twitter this morning. They were playing a pretty interesting, they're playing the Lily's Raging Bolt deck. They got top 4, so it's either Justin or Dino here. I actually don't know who it is, though. All I saw is that they were playing a cool list. They got 4th. We don't have any deck lists available right now for Auckland. For anyone who's unfamiliar, Golden Go won. Peter Lowe with the Golden Go took the whole thing down. Kato playing Grimmsnarl. I think there was a Raging Bolt in here somewhere. Henry Brand on the Pult Nor. Matthew Burris on the Pult Nor. Jeremy Lim was playing something. Natalie was on Mega Absol. Golden Low. And then I'm not sure about the Lucas or Christian here. Check seniors, first place list for seniors. All right. And nope. All right. We did have Birmingham and Merida. We'll start with Birmingham here. Let's take a look at the metagame first. Day 1 metagame. Combine it real fast. Pretty close between Pult and Golden Go at the top. From 20% Golden Go over at the Toronto Regional Championships, we see a drop to it's basically 17. It's like not a huge drop. Dragapult at Toronto, I believe, was 14, I want to say. So a little bit more popular over here in Europe, which is also not a surprise. Like, rarely is there, like, big distinctions between regions in terms of metagame preferences, stuff like that. But I will say, in Europe, Pult is generally more popular, more successful, and Guardy is less popular, less successful. Golden Go is probably about the same between US and Canada / Europe. We do see there's a 3% difference here between Birmingham and Toronto, though. So Golden Go 16%, Dragapult 16, Charizard 12. I think it was like 10% at Toronto. And then Guardy was like 14% between both variants. So Guardy, of course, having that biggest drop off there. But like I said, that's like if there is like a differentiator between Europe and NA / Canada, I feel like it is kind of the Pult versus Guardy choices there. And then for some reason, there's a big drop off after these 4 decks, just like in Toronto. Like, this format very much is the Big 4. And the Big 4, by far more popular than the next most popular deck, which for some reason is Alakazam. Wait, actually, what was it at Toronto? Was it also Alakazam at Toronto? Is it maintaining? No, it was Zoroark. And then, oh, this is more reasonable. Zoroark, Grimmsnarl, Alakazam is still there, but like Mega Box and Kangaskhan, and even Raging Bolt being less popular than Alakazam is crazy. But at Birmingham, I mean, it's all about that. It's all about that Zam here. But yeah, Tank, Kangaskhan not that far behind, Zoroark not that far behind. But it's funny that there's a big drop off, and then it is Alakazam there as the follow up deck. But not too much to talk about as far as the. Yeah, there's the Big 4, and then it just drops off really heavily after that. For some reason, it's Alakazam next up. If we take a look at the conversion, though, let's see if there's anything crazy as far as the conversions go. 25% for Gardevoir, that's pretty good. 25% for Flareon, also pretty good. Only 31 Flareons, though, of course. Grimmsnarl is probably the biggest standout here for the conversion rate, though. 27% conversion rate. 77 is a decent meta share. 27% of them making phase 2. That's pretty good. Greninja, I guess, maybe a little bit of a standout here. 41 of them, 10 of them, almost 25% making phase 2. Dragapult had a pretty good version at the 23. Let's see if there's any like duds in conversion. Mega Sharpedo, no one? No, dude. 21 Sharpedos, 0 in phase 2. Only 1 of the 31 Mega Lucarios. Shout out to Luke. Archomp, same story. Mega Venusaur, 2 Mega Venusaurs. 2 Mega Venusaurs. Zoroark had a tough time. Oh my, that's bad, man. 8%? That's pretty bad I think Zoroark is better than that conversion rate for sure. I do think like the current build that everyone's running, though, the Toadstool Lopunny build is decently difficult to play. So there's that. I guess Zoroark's always been a pretty difficult deck to play, though, to be honest. Sarah Ledge, pretty abysmal conversion rates. Actually, that's kind of the more interesting to look at the bad conversion rates. And then, the worst conversion rate of the Big 4, Golden Go, 17.5 conversion rate. So I had the worst conversion rate of the Big 4. Charizard second worst. And then Pult and Guardy at the top. Let's take a look at the standings. Let's take a look at top placing decks. I'll go down to the top 32, and if there's any decks y'all want to give a shout after that, let me know in the chat. There's a couple I know I'm going to look at, but Ethan Wild took it all down with Pult Nor. if y'all listen to the podcast this week, this was my prediction. Not Ethan specifically, although I'm not surprised to see it be Ethan. Ethan's pretty good. We've seen him at the top of European tournaments pretty consistently, I feel like, the last couple seasons. Like, he's always in there as far as, like, almost top cut / top cut. I believe this is his first big win. First big dub here for Ethan. But no surprise to see it be him getting the dub. Did it with the Poltnor. Like I said, pay attention to the podcast. I did predict this. I predicted the Poltnor dub. And did play the Moltres, but that's kind of the only standout card here. So the list is pretty vanilla, obviously. Only one Pokemon Search supporter card. I don't know if that's like a big standout. Only one Hilda, no Brox, no Dawn, no double Hilda, whatever. So Poltnor, only 2 Dragapult. Played the 3 Night Toucher, only the 1 Moltres. Sure. Flareon box from Emma. Another second place for Emma this season with the Flareon box. Her updated build. The Hildas are an interesting inclusion. Only 1 Crispin. Triple Jet Energy as well. So yeah, another cool take on the Flareon box from Emma. Coming up a little bit short in the finals once again. It's a tough matchup, though. It's a pretty bad matchup up against the Dragapult deck. So this is kind of the expected outcome when the finals happen. And finals games weren't really that close, to be honest, as well. It wasn't that close. I think game 2 was a little bit close, but I think there was a pretty big error from Ethan in the final, on that final turn. The turn before Ethan won the game, I think he made a pretty big error that gave Emma a chance to win game 2, but it was pretty unlikely Emma was still winning even at that point, and it ended up losing once again. But if you're looking for a Terra deck right now, I think this is just kind of it, to be honest. Like, Terra box kind of sucks. I still don't think, like, I guess I'll give my thoughts on the decks as well, like Polt's still pretty good. I guess it's like a solid deck. It's like a fine deck. I still don't think Flareon is that good of a deck, but one thing I will like tie with that, one thing I've been preaching for a while, is that like the player's play is going to be a bigger impact than a deck choice for your results, as always. So Emma making it to the finals is not a surprise overall, no matter how much I think Flareon box is mid. Then we had a couple Charizards in cut. A lot of Charizards in cut, actually 4 Charizards. So let's take a look at all the Charizards here real fast. Or even Hermione, we're playing pretty similar builds, I believe, here. It is the Secret Box build. I think one of the big standout differences is there's a Palpad in this list from Oyvind. I actually don't know what the difference is going to be in the Hermione list, but we'll take a look at that here in a second. But yeah, it's the Pidgeysard, Dusknoir, Klefki deck with the Secret Box. So goes is in there. But yeah, we've been seeing, this has been like a known way to play Charizard for quite a while. It hasn't become like the standard. It does feel like the standard way to play Charizard is the Terrazard build. And we see 2 Terrazards in here and cut as well. This build is like, this is maybe the least played build of the deck, actually. Pidgeysard, kind of like what I play Toronto, might actually be more popular. I'm not sure. Let's see what this build looks like. Oh, this is... I did not expect that. I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect that. Yeah. This might be the least played build or second to least played build. I think the most popular build is definitely the Terrazard build. Let's see. This was Oyvind. Oyvind had the Defiance Band, the Palpad. Is it just like 2 Counter Catcher over Palpad here? I think it might just be like the only difference. Maybe there's like one other thing. Played a 60 HP Pidgey here for Hermione over the Double Call for Family, which is probably correct. It's probably correct to have like some option against the early Dusclops, but the Call for Family option is like really, really powerful. I kind of like the 1/1 split probably. Overall, just have the options. Call for Family is really strong. If you open a Jet Energy, it's just really, really good to get into off the rip. If you open the card itself, obviously. And then we did see Nikolai here, another top cut with the Terrazard. Did play, some people are mentioning this in my chat, the 1/1/2 Pidgeot line, which apparently is like the new thing in this build. So if you're looking for like an adaptation to the deck, definitely give that a shot. I'm trying to learn more about the Pokemon TCG. I don't know where to find good tips and tricks. Any tips for me? Not off the top of my head. Yeah. I can't think of like maybe like go check out like Kieran's channel. I don't know if Rowan's still making like videos like that as well anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the other YouTubers in the space are up to be honest. I am just started yesterday. I'm trying to think about like the most instructional like gameplay breakdown videos that exist. But I don't know who's uploading right now and who's uploading what consistently. But yeah, this build, I mean, it's basically the standard thing, right? Nothing too crazy in here at all. But like I mentioned, yeah, the 1-1-2 Pidgeot line. Is that the new way to do it? Not sure, but something worth trying out for sure. And then final Charizard build here was from Jonathan. Did not get the memo. Still has the 2-0-2 Pidgeot line and no Odo in the build here. Did go the unfair stamp route though. Hold up. I do like the unfair stamp. I'm a big fan of the unfair stamp personally. So I like to see that. Huge unfair stamp enjoyer right here. So yeah, the unfair stamp's sick. I think the unfair stamp is just better, to be honest. I think the unfair stamp literally is just the better way to play the deck. Sorry ass Hoots. Yeah, I'm not sure about this Hoot, but I'm not sure about the Hoot choice, but the unfair stamp is my favorite way to play this deck for right now for sure. I think it is the better way to play the deck as well. 1 Mega Absol in cut. David here was playing the Toadstool build. Definitely has a couple standout cards here. So he's playing the Toadstool here, which isn't like a new way to play this deck. This has been popularized. This has been like a known quantity for a little while here. Only 2 Monkey Dory is interesting, especially when playing the TM Devolution. I feel like the heavy Monkey Dory count synergizes really well with the TM Devolution. Still staying on the double Yveltal. It's also interesting to see double Yveltal, to be honest, when you're playing the Toadstool, because the Yveltal can be like a win condition against Golden Go, but you also have Toadstool, and then at that point the Yveltal, I guess the Yveltal is still good against Charizard decks though. Just to do a lot of clutching in the Charizard matchup. I guess that's fair probably. So if that's going to be the main route to win, I guess maybe the Monkey Dory matters less because you're just like clutching, building up for a TM Devo line. Sure. Playing Judge. The Judges are definitely an interesting... I don't think I've seen a single Mega Absol build with Judge up to this point, but... I mean, like, theoretically, turn 1, going second, Turbo Energized to your Absol. Turn 2, Judge plus Claw of Darkness is pretty good. I don't know what matchup specifically this is kind of leaning into, or if it's just like trying to have that potential power in any matchup. So I'm not sure the reasoning behind the Judges, if there is like a certain matchup that David was leaning into with the Judge inclusions. No Nest Balls, is opting for the double Ultra Ball as ways to find the Toadstool, of course. I think most of us I've seen him play like 1 Nest Ball, 1 Ultra Ball, but just all in on the Ultras here. Hey, Azul, I watched your Mega Gengar deck. I love the deck so much that I am using it as inspiration for my first deck ever. I do have a question. Can I use Japanese cards in the UK? No, you cannot. Yeah, the Judge is interesting. But that's really the standouts there here, I think, in this list. 1 Guardian cut. It was Ted. I was rooting for Ted to get the dub. Still ended top 12, which is important for Ted's legacy. And was playing... is it literally just the Henry Chow Guardy? I don't know, I see 2 research in there. Which, honestly, 2 research in Europe makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of more Dragapult in Europe. So, honestly, genius inclusion here from Ted. I expect bigger and better things from Ted in the future with adjustments like this to compensate for the amount of Dragapult and expected Dragapult success over in Europe. The double research, huge inclusion. Love to see it. Love to see it for sure. You got to somehow, yeah, even if it's wrong to play Dragapult, you know what's coming. You know what's happening. Got to prepare for it. Double research. Love to see it. All right, we got a couple Golden Goes here. Elon and Vincent. Take a look at those. What were the choices here? Really tech for Mirror. Actually, oh my gosh. Chill out. All right. Now I got to know. Did Elon lose a Golden Go Mirror? Dub. Also a Mega Kangaskhan. Ooh, what was in the build? Oh, did have the Cornerstones. Yeah, you're not beating Cornerstone if you don't have the Mawile. Or the other thing. All right. We did win the mirrors. Thank goodness. If you lost the mirror matches, packing Cram, Premium Power Pro, Vitality Band, and the Monkey Dory. My goodness. All right. Dispose of the mirrors. Chose to play the Lanazade as a little bit of help against the fish. Had the Cyphers in there as well. Was the Prime build. Nothing too wild, I guess. I am curious to... It's going to be curious how Golden Go players choose to run the deck from here, to be honest. You beat Yoshi with double corner as well. Oh, what the heck? How? I mean, I guess you have Cram. I mean, that seemed... I don't know how you do that. I don't know how we're doing that. Yeah, I'm not sure how we're doing that. That seems tough. Yeah, I am curious. I think Cornerstone will get back into the mix. Cornerstone and Crustal will be back in the mix as counters for Golden Go moving forward. Because I think for Toronto, most people had the Lopunny and Golden Go, I'm pretty sure. But moving forward, I don't know where we're going to be at for that. Actually, can we check that? Like, if I go here and then click on a deck, can I only do that on Limitless where I can check the cards? Hold up. We can do that on Limitless, though, right? I'm curious what the difference was. Cards. Okay. So 70% of Golden Goes played Lopunny in Toronto. 0.7. Unless people were getting freaky with, like, double bunny inclusions, but, you know, no shame. Birmingham cards, Golden Go Lunatone, down to 40%. No, 30. Well, yeah, basically 40%. What the fuck is going on here? 39% Baneri. The fuck? Who's rocking double Baneri out here? So there's like one person playing two Baneri. Fuck. Banned. Everyone's on one. Everyone's committed to the one Genesect. Who's playing the duck? Yo, we got one person playing Psyduck, one person playing Baby Gold. Go. Oh, the 1/1 Caesar. Someone still playing Lucario. That's probably got to be. Well, it's actually more than one person playing Lucario. There was like 3 people playing Mega Lucario. Or 2? More than 1. Let's peep that for Merida too, because I'm just curious about that stat, to be honest. Where are we at with the bunny numbers? At Merida, it was 63%. So pretty high at Merida still, the Lopunny inclusion. Really high at Toronto, but it's coming down a little bit. Definitely, like, across the board, it's coming down. And we've got 2 weeks till Sydney and Santiago. Like, by the time Sydney and Santiago come around, I could see an adjustment, I guess. No, that's 29% on one bunny and 10% on the other. So one of those got rounded up. So that's why it's 39% compared to 38% for the Meg Bunny. Probably that does make sense. Yeah, so I could see that. I think the numbers for Mega Lopunny will come down. I don't know if they'll come down enough to the point where Crustal and Crustal and Cornerstone will be the optimal Golden Go techs. Oh, well, I guess if you look at this, we have to include the Mega Mawile percentage, right? Because Cornerstone's not that good into Mega Mawile. This is still... This is like 90% of Golden Goes are beating Cornerstone. Actually, that's something to like take note of as well. Yeah, if you're not, are you playing that? You're probably playing Mega Mawile most of the time. Although we saw that be different here, specifically for the list of Elon. Elon didn't play Mega Mawile or the Lopunny, but at Toronto specifically, 70-15. So 85% of Golden Go lists were prepared for Cornerstone, but not, for Cornerstone. And then I'm curious, Merida, I think we just looked at this, but I'm looking at it one more time. 90%. Oh my gosh. It was a higher percentage. 90% were prepared for it. Unless someone was playing Bunny and Mega Mawile. That would be cringe. So I'm just going to assume we're not being cringe out here. And then 73% at Birmingham are prepared for Cornerstone. Cornerstone is still probably not going to be a good answer for the deck. We could get to the point where Crustal, though, is a reasonable, like, Mega... you could go back to, like, Mega Absol Crustal, Mega Kangaskhan Crustal. Like, those could be things 2 weeks from now for sure. So, that's interesting. But yeah, high spacing Golden Go, Elon here. No text, specific text. The Cram can get you there sometimes, but rarely. And then Vincent was the other Golden Go and cut. Did have the Mega Lopunny, the TM Evo, pretty standard stuff. Was also very heavily teched for the mirror, though, on the Prime Catcher build. So Prime Catcher the more successful this time at the tournament. It definitely goes back and forth between Prime Catcher versus Secret Box being most successful overall. It might be like tied right now. I think Secret Box probably has the edge in terms of like final placement success, but it's pretty close. Very tech for mirror though. Premium Power Pro, Vitality Band, Cramorant. I mean, it's about as tech as you get unless you're gonna go with a Monkey Dory. Get the Monkey Dory involved in there as well. But pretty standard besides that. Prime Catcher, 1/1 Bunny, yada yada. And then the final deck in Top Cut, Netty with the Pult Zard. Bro, Pult Zard had a weekend, bro. Oh my gosh. Technically, a deck that you can play in the Pokemon TCG standard format is Pult Zard. And we're going to see a little bit more of this and talk a little bit more about it at Merida as well. And this has become like kind of the standard build as well. Like, there's nothing too crazy. No stadiums. I think, yeah, I gave Nathan Ostercats a little bit of credit, like seniors player. He's had so much success with it recently. I don't know if that's inspired some of the Masters players to try it out, because I know people like Jesper and Oscar are like huge fans of the deck, and we'll talk about Jesper's finals appearance with the deck as well. But I don't know if some inspiration came from Nathan's success with the deck at all or not, but give Nathan a shout here, because he's been killing it in seniors with Zard Pult. Not that that gives that too much credit to the deck. I think it's more credit to Nathan than Zard Pult. I want to make sure we keep this in line. Zard Pult is extremely mid. All right? Got to focus on that point. Got to make sure people understand that. Extremely mid deck. But Charizard's good. Dragapult's good. Monkey Dory's good. GU is cool. So you got good cards in the deck. Yeah. But this is like become like the standard way to play the deck. Nothing too crazy here, for sure. But I am curious to see, with how much success it had this weekend overall, especially in Merida, I wonder if we do see more people pick it up and try it out. It is a deck I am curious personally to pick up and try out again, because I want to do my due diligence here. You know, I love hating on Pult Zard, one of my favorite decks of all time to hate on. Not as much as Ancient Box, but it's up there. But I got to do my due diligence. I definitely need to play some games with the deck, try it out. Yeah, but let's get into the rest of the top 32 here, and then I'll let chat out some decks if there's anything cool to go take a look at. Paolo here, that's a Pult list. We got another Terrazard here from Alex. Did include the Chi and Pow, and a TM Evo, actually. Interesting, the TM Evo is curious. So Tekking, I guess. Dude, I thought there wasn't a Pidgeotto there. I was about to be like, what the fuck? Why are we playing a TM Evo without Pidgeotto? But I guess Tekking for item lock. So definitely trying to have a better match. Oh yeah, only 1/1/1 Dusknoir as well. I mean, got to make room for the TM Evo, the Chi-Pow, and the Hilda somehow. Only one Jet. Oh, no Klefki. There's no Klefki here. I actually don't hate that. Psyduck is not like that popular right now. I actually don't hate the no Klefki. 3 candy. Only 3 candy. So yeah, trying to have a better mirror, I guess, for sure, right? We're not trying to have better. Trying to have a better Pult matchup. Text for the item lock, the TM Evo, the Hilda. And then Chi and Pow, trying to have something for the Watchtower as well. I kind of like the lack of Klefki. I'm not so hype on the other inclusions, though, to be honest. Check his Pult record. Did it pay off, though? It's a good point. Lost a Pultnor. Beat a Pultnor. Beat a Pultnor. Okay, it looks like it maybe paid off. 2-1 against Pultnor. Did lose to a Pult Zard. So that's a 50% win rate against Pult decks. Because those kind of line up similarly. But do early. Get into the Pults. Take over the game. Was able to defeat the Caparajah. Good to know. I was like, what is this Pokemon? It looks like a Garbodor. So was able to go 50-50 against Pults. I'm sure the tech inclusions did help. I'm sure they did help. Sure they helped. So those are some interesting inclusions from Alex. Pultnor. That's Pultnor, all right. Fabian back at it again with another decent placement with the Pult Blaziken. He's all about this deck. All right, what changes? Oh, I was going to say, are we going to be down to less Buddy Poffin? Still at 2 Buddy Poffin. Has a Badoo? I don't think he had Badoo this time around, or last time around. I wonder if we ever get to the point. Also, only 3 Ultra Ball. Does have a Hilda here, I guess, as well. I wonder if we ever get to the point where Fabian just plays 0 Poffin. Do we ever get to the 0 Poffin? He's had 3. He's down to 2. I mean, if you have the turn 1 Arvin or Secret Box or the raw Poffin, like, you're setting up pretty well. Like, I mean, that gets you going. So maybe it is enough. Still has the Petron in there, so it has an out against... I guess has an out against the Guardy matchup still. No Psyduck, no Shaman for bench protection. Or I guess Dustmore protection would be the Psyduck more so than anything. Another interesting take on the deck here from Fabian. Another solid placement of course, though, as well. He's been kind of killing it with this deck. as like the probably, I don't know, there's maybe 2 Blaziken players in the whole tournament. Second highest placing Guardy here. Not a surprise because it is Europe. Only 2 in the top 16 is a Guardy Jelly, and pretty standard stuff. Nothing crazy. Does have a luxurious cape in here. Team Evo 2 Arvin. 322 Guardy. Sure. Highest placing Grim here is Felix. Actually, a couple Grims in the top 32. Once again, pretty standard stuff. 3 boss, heavy on the boss. Good for the Guardy matchup. 3/3 Frostlass as well, which seems like it's become the standard. As far as like the, I don't know, like the side characters in the deck as like alternate win conditions, we see stuff like Evital, Maractus, sometimes Tatsugiri's in here for a little bit of help. No Petch, no Fez, no Tatsugiri, no Yveltal, just the one of Badu for some potential item locking in the early game. Just the Badu. Pidgey Control here from Leon. I don't really have an opinion on Pidgey Control. There's a lot of stuff in here, obviously. A lot of different ways to win games. Always a cool deck. But, yeah, not my expertise for sure. The Jelly Guardy here. Similar stuff. Did play the Luxurious Cape as well. I wonder if this is... Are these like same 60s? Pretty close. Between, Julio and... No. Shinosuke? Not quite the exact 60s, though. It's pretty close. There was no Diancie in this build, right? Yeah. Appreciate 30 months there, Charles. Also appreciate 19 months there, Kyogre. We did have an Alakazam in top 32 here. Carl. Oh, Carl. I was clowning on Carl's 5 ties. Carl with the Alakazam. Top 32 placement. Let's take a look at the list. Anything crazy? No, not really. Nothing too wild. Build, of course. That's the standard. As the Duck has the Shaman. Did rock the Fanordum as well. Time was kind of criminal. What do you mean? It's a 1 prize deck. We stay tying. Did not run the Togekiss. I guess that's maybe worth pointing out. Yeah, no Togekiss. Split on the Dawns and Hildas as well. 3/3. 1 prize decks just tie a lot. Yeah. It's actually become like a thing with like potentially Golden Go now as well, because you play as a 1 prize deck for so much of so many matches. Yeah. Those Golden Go decks, man. They take so long now. Another Grim here. Traditional 2/2 Frostlass. Played the Shaman, the Yveltal. This feels like a more like this feels like a list from NAIC, to be honest, or maybe Worlds, like around that time. Not as thick of a Frostlass line, so you're gonna have a harder time against the Golden Ghost specifically. Couple Pults here. Just take a quick look. More Moltres inclusions. Okay, is that all the 1, 2? No, these Pults didn't have Moltres, right? Quite a few Moltres Pults though around. We had Ethan winning, of course, the tournament with the Moltres, and a couple more down here as well. More Jelly Guardy action. Is the thicker Jelly line. Diancie. More Golden Ghost here as well. We had Luke and then Daniel. Luke. Dude, these mirror attacks, man. It's everything, man. The Cram, the Monkey Dory. This actually might be the exact same 60 as the higher placing list. If not, it's really, really close. Yeah, definitely really, really close. And then Daniel here. Playing a... This looks like very similar to what Justin played. Has the Bravery Charm, so went the Bravery Charm out. Oh, I guess that's like something worth looking at. Well, these lists won't play the Picnic Basket, right? Because they have the Monkey Dory. You're not going to fit Monkey Dory and Picnic Basket. But this list here from Vincent did play the Picnic Basket. That's what I was hearing about. Daniel, another solid finish with the Golden Go. Make them all wild. Did have a tech for mirror in the Hops Cramorant, but also the Hops Cramorant is actually just kind of good against Toadscroll. Like the Toadscroll decks like have to go to, they can't like dodge the prize number for Cram, so you get like a very efficient attack KO on a Toadscroll. So it's like a mirror attack / attack for that matchup. And we see no Picnic Basket in this build, but generally, that's kind of the Bravery Charm slot because it has like similar utility to when the Picnic Basket would be effective. And then you can, like, in the mirror match, you put on your Soul Rock, so your Soul Rock lives an extra hit, stuff like that. So it's like kind of tech for mirror, kind of covers some of the situations of Picnic Basket. If I am going to play with a deck today on stream, which I will be playing with at least one deck today on stream, you appreciate the Prime sub there, Emo. It will be towards Absol box. I'm a big fan of Absol box. That deck's pretty fun. And Tord came with a pretty interesting build to Birmingham. Risky Ruins as the stadium. For anyone who doesn't know what this does, whenever any player puts a basic non-dark Pokemon onto their bench, they put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon. So you can generate damage on everything that's not your Absols, Petrons, Fezzes, Yveltals. Like a specific situation. Specific situation is you could bench like Ursaluna and then generate 2 damage on it, Monkey Dory the damage over to a Golden Go, and the late game Ursaluna KO Golden Go, stuff like that. I'd like to publicly apologize for my throwing in top 4 yesterday. It's no problem. Congrats on the finish. 4 penny makes sense now. 4 penny make sense now because of the Risky Ruins? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm surprised to actually not see more Jumbo Ice Creams in the Mega Absol list. I think the Jumbo Ice Cream is super good in the deck. I really love the Jumbo Ice Cream, but it definitely isn't something that everyone seems to think is worth including. See Tord here, heavy penny count, no Jumbo Ice Cream. I've seen it in a couple lists, but it's not like a universal inclusion. Far from that. So, and then it has the Moltres in here. The one thing I guess I'm kind of surprised, I just kind of assumed that Tord played it. There is no Brave Bangle to get the extra value out of the Moltres. Now you can generate damage with Risky Ruins. You can also just like punch Golden Goes with Moltres, I guess. But I'm kind of surprising to not see a Brave Bangle in here, so you can get the clean 1 hit with the Moltres. Also, it's just 1 Moltres, 1 fire. You do have 3 Nitrogen, so you could recycle the Moltres technically, but you could recycle it. You could like double. You can like attack with Moltres, and then double Nitrogen or do it again. But it's like a pretty big investment. So yeah, interesting list for sure. I'd have to like play it against the Golden Go matchup to see how things play out. You still have Yveltal as like a potential win condition as well. Slow the game down, build up damage, and play that way as well. So you have different ways you can tackle things for sure. Definitely. So that was Tord's list. Got a Zard Pidge here. Actually, no, this is the list we looked at earlier. Zard, Pidgeot, Dragapult. The only thing that's missing is Dusknoir. Watch a backhead game like 4 turns earlier if I engage my brain. Yeah, that was it was an entertaining moment at the very least for sure. It was very entertaining. Thankfully, it didn't cost you in the end. It didn't end up costing you, but it was very entertaining. Jujutsu is not low is so weird. I mean, there's everything. There's just everything in here. This looks like Tord's list from NAIC like 2 years ago, where it was Zard, Dragapult, Pidgeot. The only thing missing is Dusknoir. And 2 candy? Bro, dude, there's too much. There's too much going on this list. I can't look at it anymore. What was that? Who was that one? There. All right. Ricardo here. Pult Zard. Is it just kind of the standard stuff? Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Dude, Pulsar's starting to catch on a little bit for sure. But I feel like it's fake. The hype is definitely fake. Anch here with the Pult Nor. Standard list. No Moltres. Nothing crazy. Another Yoshiyuki did play the Mega Absol box, did play the Cornerstone inclusions. Other standout inclusions, I guess only 1 Yveltal. I guess which makes sense going if you're gonna commit to like the quarter. That's what it feels like. I feel like it feels like double Yveltal can be really good. Second Pult was still prized. Yes, that makes sense. Second Pult being prized makes sense. And then you didn't play 3 Pult, which was like the other question that I had when I was like watching. Once we realized it was prized, I was like, was there a 3rd Pult? We only did play the 2, so it feels like playing double Yveltal is really good against Golden Go. But if you're playing another inclusion for that matchup, I guess double Yveltal is still good against Charizard though. I guess I don't hate. Like I guess I don't hate the idea. If you're gonna play Toadscroll or Cornerstone, you could still play double Yveltal, but 1 usually feels sufficient at that point. I don't know. It also feels like, I mean, the majority of Charizard decks play double jet, so like they shouldn't be losing to Yveltal like ever. So that is also like another thing. Unless they like burn one early, then there's like an opportunity comes up. But they're all like Dusknoir jet builds, so it's like they should be able to draw prize cards pretty quickly. Yeah, had a Watchtower. Went with the Cornerstones this time around. I don't think the Cornerstone was probably a great call, to be honest, at this tournament. I think we looked at the percentages, right? Lopunny was still really popular, and then a lot of people who weren't playing Lopunny were playing the Mega Mall while, so Cornerstone is not a great answer into Golden Go right now. It's like fine. You would want something more confident against it. Also, I guess in this build specifically, there is the Watchtower to help against Charizard, so there's that. As far as like the one Yveltal inclusion, it's like, well, we could play double Yveltal, or we could give it a little bit more. We could diversify a little bit more, and we could play the Yveltal and the Yveltal and the Watchtower. And then third, second place there, Ethan Chow. We did see Ethan on stream at some point playing the now standard way to play Zoroark. Zoroark, Toadscruel, Lopunny, popularized, made by Liam Halliburton. This seems to be just the way that most people are playing Zoroark, and it's like the only way we were seeing people have success against Zoroark as well, right? Like this is it. No one else is succeeding with Zoroark unless it's like this build. Which I think it is like one of those things where it's like there's only like one good way to play Zoroark each meta or format or whatever, so this just might be the only way to play it. All right, that's the top 32. There's a couple lists right here that I did want to look at. I think I want to check. We had Sander continuing to play Frostlass Monkey-Dory, not Control. Despite seeing some like okay placements from Pidgeot Control, Sander sticking with the Frostlass Monkey-Dory deck. And here's his updated build. How many Crushing Hammer did he play last time? Was it 3 or 4? Down to just 1. Dude, down to just one Crushing Hammer this time around. Just one, just a single Crushing Hammer there. Still has one though. That feels like a hella scam for sure. Well, it's cool to see him still piloting the Frostlass Monkey-Dory deck. Has both Ting-Lus in here. We got Ting-Lu EX, good against Grimmsnarl, good against Guardy are like the main matchups. And then this Ting-Lu, I have to imagine this Ting-Lu is actually kind of good against Golden Go, right? Because you can like put like, you can sit there and Badoo them, set up your Monkey-Dories, and then all of a sudden you just go into Ting-Lu and like pressure the Gimme Ghouls so aggressively that they just lose quickly, right? I have to imagine that's the main matchup for it. I don't know if other people have in chat have more in-depth take on the Ting-Lu. One hammer can swing the Monkey War. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Ting-Lu for Battle Cage. Sure, tech against Battle Cage. No Evo. The no Evo is interesting because Evo is so strong against Pult and Golden Go. That is an interesting. It's interesting to not include it for sure. I'm with you. That's definitely curious. Ting-Lu is really good with Devo versus Pult. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. You switch our third charm is way better for Monkey War than Hammer. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Sander said Badoo is most important. I mean, I don't disagree, but in those matchups, it's not as relevant though. Well, it depends how good their turn 1 is. Like if Golden Go and Pult just have a decent turn 1, then like getting your Frostlass out too slow is going to be the end of you, especially up against Pult specifically. I would say that's the matchup where Team Evo matters the most is the Pult matchup. Like if they just have if they just go first, or I mean they're going to choose second. Like if they just have a good turn 1, going first or second, you just like lose a lot of the time based on that. So where we were, that was the 4-second. All right. Well, hang on, there's another. I gotta check the second Frostlass Monkey here. We gotta see this list. Definitely more standard for sure. Nothing crazy. All right, chat. Is there any no retreat lock? Oh, that's a good shout as well. Although a lot of decks are just like really prepared for retreat lock though. So I don't hate that call here from Sander. No Yveltal, no Maractus or anything like that. A lot of decks are really prepared for. Most decks are prepared for retreat lock. Most decks can beat retreat lock. All right. Shout out some placements in chat real fast. Ooh, a Slowking. Nah, it's the Natu build though. That's less exciting. 109, 58. All right, 58. We had unknown. It is the Crust. At first, I thought I saw the Oricorio and I thought it was I thought it was. Wait, why is Why would you play Shuckle when you could play Oricorio? Isn't the Shuckle just a worse Oricorio? Oh no, because it gives you utilization of your grass energy. But this list only plays one grass energy. A 2/2 crust. This crust needs to go the whole way. Needs to go the whole distance. Shuckle heals 10 more. Yeah, but it requires the energy. So I can go bench Oricorio attached to Monkey Dory. Maybe there should be an Oricorio and a Shuckle. Maybe it should be Oricorio and Shuckle. This list also only plays one basic grass, so it makes sense for there to be less. This is more of a Monkey Dory deck than anything, though, right? So 94. Are y'all gonna have to reshout out some of these lists? 94. I feel like I've seen lists like this before. It's Mega Absol with a 102 Pidgeot. Which, I mean, like, theoretically is cool, but... if Philip calls it Monkey Dory Stall. Yeah, it's almost like it's like a Dreadnought deck. More, it's like, it's yeah, it's just like you're just literally sitting at Monkey Dory. You're not actually using Crustal. Why 2 Pidgeot if only 1 Pidgey? Because you have more access to the Pidgey than the Pidgeot. You just trolley turn 1, get Pidgey every time. The Pidgeot, though, is like really, really good to naturally draw into, so you don't have to like stress the Ultra Ball, and then you mitigate your prize. The prize factor is like slightly mitigated as well. Why Maractus and Yveltal? The Maractus is a little weird. Yeah, I guess so you can like use it aggressively. Probably against the Maractus is probably good against Golden Go specifically, I would assume. So you just go up there and corner their Soul Rock, and the Soul Rock has to punch your Maractus, and then it KOs itself. I don't know. I can't tell you, to be honest. Only 1 can't. That's a big investment into the Pidgeot line, which a lot of it could be prized. What placement is this again? 94, I think. 173 and 247. All right. 173. Ooh, the Mega Venusaur. Was this the 1 Mega Venusaur in day 2? I think pretty standard as far as Mega Venusaur lists go, right? No ball, no gust. We're not gusting, but we're sniping. Hold up, Genesect. If we get enough energy in play, you can KO anything with enough energy on a Genesect. I wonder what's the biggest snipe they pulled off in the tournament, to be honest. And Paolo, boring lists are dope. Mulch is a lie. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Boring poll lists are good, but there's nothing to look at. Oh, I will though. I will disagree with you there. I'm a believer in Moltres. You got to play something for the matchup. Just put anything in there. 108. All right, let's take a look at 108. Ooh, highest placing Greninja. There was a decent amount of Greninjas, right? There were like 10 of the 40 Greninja players made day 2. Highest placing is 108. And pretty standard build, right? Nothing crazy. Yeah, pretty standard stuff here. 5 water energy. Makes sense. You gotta want to touch that water energy turn 1. 47 was Rockets. Is Dreadnought a good deck? No, it's a fun deck though. Let's go. Rockets Mewtwo with a placement. More of a Spite Up deck than anything, of course. Ticker box for the Wondrous Patch. Yo, the energy lineup though. Why are we playing a water energy? We are not attacking with this thing. What does the attack even do? If this Pokemon has any Team Rocket's energy attached with, the attack does 60 more damage. Bro, that's not real. Is it the play around it getting clutched so you can actually attack with it if they try and clutch it? 263. All right, we'll do 263 next. Dude, that is not real, bro. That's got to be fake. 2 Watchtower. I feel, dude, Team Rocket's Factory is kind of the best card in the deck though, right? I don't hate the Watchtowers in the deck though. What do you think about Fabian consistently top 20 events with Blaziken Bolt? Is it actually a good deck, or is Fabian that good? I think Fabian's good. I don't think the deck is good. The deck's not terrible. It's like a Poltzard. Like, I think the Blaziken Dragapult deck that Fabian's been running, it's like Poltzard. It's like, this deck is strictly a worse deck than just playing a Charizard deck or a Polt deck. And I think, yeah, I think it's just Fabian. Like, Fabian's a really good player. I think the deck's like kind of mid. Yeah. What does this thing do again? You may move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. 120 with a Rocket's energy and your Lightning type. I don't know what that comes up against. All right, give me some final shouts for list here. We'll take a look. 109. Oh, let's go. The real Jesse VIP? Wait, was there an impersonator yesterday? No, this is the same. This is the same Jesse. Dude, I gave you VIP yesterday, though. You gave it to Jesse Parker, not Jesse Parker? Wait, which one is Jesse Parker? Oh, I put the name in wrong. So some random person has VIP in my chat now. I see what happened. Let's see. All right, cool. Shout out the real Jesse Parker. Toxicity Group on net. That's pretty sick, to be honest. That's pretty sick. And this is what I mean. Like this, they got 109th. That's like, I mean, how many people were at this tournament? Like 2,344 players. Is BrutBallNet a good deck? No, the deck's bad. But that's like, it's so sick that you can, and I feel like maybe that's just kind of a product of this format. Is that you can like, where's the list? Right here? Yeah, like you can go really far with like, just like mid decks. Like you can go really far with mid decks. I think it's a good, but I don't think it's because the format is random or it's like a low skill format. I think it's because it's like a high skill format. Like games feel very, it feels like there's a lot of decisions to make in most games. Changes a little bit when you play up against Golden Go, I guess. Golden Go is like the one deck where it's like, all right, we're not really doing anything here. Maybe I'm wrong though. I guess that can be a sign of a high skill format and a low skill format. It's like anything doing well. But I mean, if you're making top cut with Pulse Art, it's got to be a high skill format because that deck sucks. There's no way it's a low skill format and Pulse Art's making top cut. That's a sign of a high skill format for sure. Festival lead. Go trolley build. 200 trust. Another Alakazam build. Is it weird though? No, pretty standard stuff. Standard Alakazam. Standard Zam. Oh, legacy build though. All right, let's go. Legacy build. Love to see it. Legacy, no Wonders Patch, no, whatever the other thing is called. 263 is Crazy Zam. 263. Okay, so you have Alakazam, but then you have a 202 Tinkaton line, of course, gotta have that. Makes sense to cut back on the Dunsparce a little bit. We got the Duck. I'm a Duck enjoyer. The Dew I'm a little bit less convinced on in this deck, because if your opponent gusts around your Badoo, you feel silly for playing the deck in the deck to begin with. I almost feel like a Cleffa or something would be better than Badoo, to be honest. Like, just play more games. And then we got the Clavel. Oh, it does put them in your hand. Actually, you know what? I don't hate that. Because it stacks your hand, right? Like, you can use it early game to set up, but then mid-late game, you can use it to just pull basics to your hand to build a bigger hand. You think it's fair to think of someone as selfish or a bad sport if they never ID? No. It's a silly question. $215 is the best way to play Ethan's. All right, let's see what we got. Ricky Madsen, Ethan's Typhlosion. No, there's a Charizard in here, bro. This is the worst way I've ever seen to play Ethan's Typhlosion. Honestly, I hope they revoke their placement and retroactively DQ them. Terrible, but look at 703. Oh my! Oh, hang on, I can only. I'm 703. I can't. I have to click show. If I have to click show more players, we're not peeping the list. I'm sorry. 454. Yeah, if I have to click show more players on labs, I'm sorry. That's too far removed. 454. Scrub with the Zard. Pidge Zard. Pidgey though. Apparently the cool thing is the one Pidgey. But the unfair stamp. Like I was saying, I'm a big fan of the unfair stamp in the deck. Not losing to Dango. Oh, with the unfair stamp, you mean? Oh, you had Chi-Yu in there as well. See, okay, I think that might be a little bit overkill. I'm not gonna lie. The Chi Yu seems a little overkill. Yeah, the time I didn't ID and I won and he was out of cut and he crashed out. Are you saying that happened once? Had someone crash out on me for not IDing because I wanted better sanity and top cut? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Like at like a cup or something. Does research rotate? Research does rotate, yes. Now confirmed rotating, not even potentially. All right. All right, we have a whole nother tournament to take a look at. So I think we've looked at Birmingham enough here. Also on Zard, no ghost, 2 monkey stamp. I mean, I think it's fine. I don't know about 2 monkeys. That's a lot. But it does give you like the luminous energy inclusion, I guess, which is kind of cool. It's just like a lot of monkey dories. I like stamp though. Stamp's cool. All right. Yeah, we have a whole other tournament to take a look at here. The Merida Regional Championships, which was won by Rajveer with the Grimmsnarl, or Sunny. People were calling him Sunny. So Sunny takes it down with Grimmsnarl, and it is like a hybrid build. There's like the 2 builds of Grim. The Frostlass build with like whatever else you want to play in that. And then we did see the Tim Danklin popularize the Toad Scroll build for a little while. This is a build like in between both those. You got the Toad Scroll and you have the Frostlass. You kind of got it all here. Best of both worlds. So not going with like the thicker Frost line. No Badoo, no Yveltal. Pretty standard. Did play the Psyduck, I guess, as far as tech cards go. No Shaman, which honestly, I did see someone mention this. I think Raging Bolt. Well, I mean, we can actually check. Did I check the metagame? Wait, I don't think I checked the metagame for this one yet. How popular was Raging Bolt? Raging Bolt was 6%. We should tier 1 there. Dude, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but I appreciate tier 1. Welcome to the Rat Pack. Let's take a look. I didn't take a look at the metagame first. Let's start with the metagame here for Merida. 20%. What? Wait, what? What is this? 20% Dragapult? Is that real? Turn it on. Day 1. 20? That has to be a lot of Poltzard influence, right? That's got to be some Poltzard influence for sure. 20% Polt? What are we doing? 15% Golden Go. Dude, how did Henry Chow not win this tournament? What? Honestly, that's a blemish on his record. The fact that this is 20% and Henry didn't win. All right, 15% Golden Go. That's kind of similar to what we saw over in Europe, to be honest. They were down to like 16% Golden Go. I think Toronto was like peak of Golden Go hype and build up. So I'm not surprised to see Golden Go come down from that 20% post Toronto, to be honest, with these follow-up tournaments being a little bit less. 20% Golden Dragapult is just absurd. I mean, there's got to be so much Poltzard. Poltzard has to be what's carrying this percentage, though. There's just no way. Charizard 13%, Guardy 13%, sure. And then the drop off. All right, these are the big 4 we've been talking about. That's the big 4. There is a big drop off, but it is Raging Bolt. And I wonder, like I say, there's rarely things where you can be like, all right, like in Europe, Guardy's going to be a little bit less popular. Pult's going to be a little bit more popular. I think there's the same thing with Raging Bolt at Latin American events. I think Raging Bolt is just more popular there. So when like look, and there can be like things where I guess you can like look at that specifically and be like, if I'm playing Grimmsnarl in Merida, should I play a Shaman? Like if you're traveling down to Merida, should you play a Shaman? If you played at Toronto, you probably shouldn't play the Shaman. But if you're going to go down to Latin America, maybe you should play the Shaman. Usually I just say everything's the same, but it's not 100% true. There are some little region meta differences. This is one of them. Raging Bolt being 6%. It's not a ton. It's still just 6%, but that's like double, triple what it is at the other tournaments. A little bit of Raging Bolt hype post-Toronto as well with the getting second. That exists there. So playing like Shaman Index, not a bad call to have like to potentially include Shaman Index for sure. Post-Toronto in general, but specifically going to Merida, I would say. And then after that, you know, it's the usual things here. Alakazam, not quite as hype in this one, apparently. More of a European thing, I guess. Oh, actually, let's check the conversions, though. Conversion on. Let's just look at just conversions. Process Monkey Dory, 100%. But let's go the first relevant deck, kind of Grimmsnarl. Whoa, 34%. I mean, 55% a huge sample size, but that's pretty good. Dude, why is Grimmsnarl having like such good conversion rates? Because it like what? It was the same thing in Birmingham, right? 29% for the Grim. Like they convert really well, but then it's like the placements are like whatever. They're like feeding on the, like obviously the skill level in day 1 is going to be weaker than day 2. So I wonder if that's part of it. I mean, there's 2 in cut here. We'll get to that, I guess. It did actually, in Merida, it did pretty well. Like for the conversion rate actually equaled results, but in Birmingham it did not. But yeah, 33%, 25% for Guardy, pretty good. Honestly, I want to see the stinkers though. Those are the ones that are most interesting. 0, 19 Mega Venusaurs, 0. Unlucky. 28 Flareon Noctowls, 0. That's true. Emma was in Birmingham though, so that makes sense. And Zoroark once again having a rough time. Dude, I think Zoroark is, I still think, like, I don't know why Zoroark is having such a tough time, because I think the deck's pretty good right now. But the conversion rates for these 2 tournaments is abysmal for Zoroark. I think the deck is way better than this conversion rate though. Charizard Pidgeot had a tough time. So this is like I mean, there might be Dusknoirs in here, but not Terrazard. It's not the Terrazard. I mean, Joltik Box having a tough time is kind of whatever. Mega Absol Box had a tough time. Sarah Ledge did not have a good time. Gardevoir Jellicent specifically had a rough time. Oh, I guess they are separate here. Oh, I can turn them on though. Oops, I had that off. Let's turn that on and see what that looks like then. So Gardevoir overall had like an okay time in the end. Raging Ball actually did not have a very good conversion rate. It's like fine. I think what is the average? I guess like what we're looking for, like we want to look for like the good conversion. The good conversion rates are like closer to 20, and over 20 is like great. Out of the big 4, Charizard once again had the worst conversion rate out of the big 4. That was what it was at Birmingham as well, right? Think about Toad and Psyduck Tech in the winning list. I mean, they're like good cards. They're not bad cards in Grimmsnarl either. And we can go take a look at the list now a little bit more. Like, play the Toad Scroll, play the Psyduck. I mean, Psyduck's... I'd say Psyduck specifically, I would say, is good in Grimmsnarl. I'm a little bit less hesitant to say Toad Scroll is good in Grimmsnarl. I'm not as convinced that, like, Toad Scroll should be played in the deck. Despite how popular Golden Go is. It makes your Golden Go matchup better, but the card is, like, so mid in general in the deck. I don't know. I guess it's hard to argue against it, though. Like, yeah, I don't know. It seems fine. The Toad Scroll seems fine. Yeah. Seems like a fine inclusion. 3 boss. I think most lists we've been seeing recently have like the 2 boss and then 1 to 2 counter catcher. Pretty standard stuff besides the tech inclusions, right? Opted for the duck, opted for the Toad Scroll line. But besides that, pretty standard stuff. 2 Frostlass, 4 Monkey Dory. And then Jesper with the Polt Zard. I think this list might be the exact same 60 as some of the players over in the European event that we're looking at for the Polt Zards. This is it. This is like the standard Polt Zard deck. No stadiums, the unfair stamp. And also, this is worth mentioning, I think. Now, Jesper did get to the finals. And Jesper, you know what? Honestly, Jesper kind of let down the crew. Because in juniors, Polt Zard won. There's 3 Polt Zards in cut. Oh my gosh. And then right outside of cut, there was 3 more Polt Zards. And in seniors, Polt Zard was a mirror match in the finals. So, honestly, Jesper kind of letting down the Polt Zard crew in Merida. Not able to get the victory there. Definitely played a little sloppy in the finals, but we had a pretty sick match in top 4. Top 4 was 2 Golden Goes. So the Grim and the Polt Zard were able to overcome the Golden Go players here. We had Frink here with a I guess an interesting inclusion. Actually, it's kind of why are we playing Lanazade and the Lopunny? When is that coming up that we want both? If we're playing the Lopunny and the TM Evo, isn't that like our Jellicent WinCon? Why are we stacking Lanazade on top of that? Or is the Lanazade in there as like a Soul Rock recycler for the mirror match? But I feel like that never comes up. That's like too many Soul Rocks. Grim is so heavily favored. Jesper's lucky to get 1 game. That's fair. Where's your Polt Zard apology form? What do you mean? I still think the deck is hella mid. Yeah, so had the Charizard techs here. Yeah, the Lanazade inclusion like is weird to me when we're playing Lopunny TM Evo. Like if we're playing Lopunny TM Evo. Oh, there's only 3 boss in here, but there is a counter catcher. Dude, not playing 4 boss, that's something. 4 boss is just kind of broken. Yeah, the Lanazade plus Lopunny is weird to me. Like Lopunny with Evo, if you're gonna go that route, sure. But then stacking Lanazade on top of that feels weird. Played the Watchtower plus Iono to have a comeback against Charizard decks. I don't hate that. Charizard's pretty popular right now. I don't hate the inclusion. I mean, I kind of just like the solo watchtower. So just like turn 1 going second, you go secret box, slam watchtower against them. But you could stack it with an Iono. Sure, you have a little bit better of a comeback line later on. Because like slamming watchtower early is one thing, but having the ability to go watchtower Iono late game is another. Also, Iono's just not a bad card. So, but it's kind of mid and golden go. It's kind of whatever. Not playing 4 bosses weird. I guess it is trying to be made up for with the countercatcher inclusion. And probably against the Charizard matchup specifically, the countercatcher is pretty strong. So it feels like a lot of tech for Charizard, to be honest, overall. Yeah, it feels like a lot of tech for Charizard overall. But like against Mirror Match, Gardevoir, Dragapult, boss is always just better. It feels like it's hard to justify this much tech inclusion for the Charizard matchup. Although the countercatcher can come up in mirror, I guess. But it's better to but when you're ahead, you just want to be able to maintain your lead in the mirror in like the 1 prize trade. So having the boss is just better. Or like boss can be just as good as countercatcher anyways to begin with. Because usually you're getting your countercatcher by going Arvin for countercatcher. I guess that extends your access to Gust, but yeah. So like it can come up in mirror when you're like losing the initial back and forth with the 1 prizers. But then if you're winning it, you need to be able to maintain winning it. So that's where you just want to just have another boss. Charizard matchup, countercatcher good. Guardy matchup. I guess the Guardy matchup is maybe the biggest outlier there for it's like boss is just always better against Guardy. Against Dragapult, honestly, 3 bosses is probably enough against Dragapult, to be honest, like as far as the countercatcher goes. I'm just trying to think I'm trying to like break down the justifications for like playing countercatcher. Against Pult, it probably doesn't matter one way. It's like not that big of a deal. Guardy, you want a lot of boss against Guardy. That's like the one matchup where you definitely want the 4th boss. Mirror match can go both ways, I guess. There is no mirror match tech in this list. Besides, I guess like the countercatcher you could argue is like kind of nice, so you can have more access to your Gust more consistently when they get the first 1 prize knockout with a 1 prizer or something like that. So that could come up, I guess. And I could see an argument for Lana's Aid being kind of cool in mirror as well, because you can like recycle your Soul Rocks more aggressively, but I feel like that almost never comes up. Yeah. Why do some top players stick to rogues? If they're good, they could master any deck. No, question is, how much important is it to be confident with a comfortable mid deck than confident with a top tier deck? Well, you'd have to give me an example of what kind of decks you're talking about. If you're talking about something like a Golden Go versus like a Mega Absol, like a Mega Absol deck is pretty good and has a lot of depth to it. I think with like a lot of the, yeah, it'd have to be like what deck you're talking about specifically. And then even some of them I wouldn't agree with you probably just based on the fact that I don't know how good I feel like the deck is currently. But something like a Mega Absol box deck, it just has so much depth to it. And with Flareon, there's just like a big advantage in playing stuff like specifically like Flareons or Mega Absol boxes because the decks have a lot of depth to them in terms of what they can do. And sure, they could play Golden Go instead, but your expected outcome is probably not that much higher to play Golden Go or to play the Flareon box or Mega Absol. As long as you've mastered one deck or the other, it probably doesn't really matter too much one way or another. So whatever you get most enjoyment out of doing is going to lead to you just being more prepared with one deck A or deck B. So that is also a factor. Like if you just really like Flareon box, then if that's going to lead to you being more likely to prep harder with the deck and be more locked into like innovating with the deck and trying new things and maximizing your overall outcome with the deck, then that would lead to more success than playing a Golden Go, right? So yeah, at the end of the day, your play with the deck is going to be the biggest outcome, the biggest determining factor for your success at a tournament. So as long as you're not playing like United Wings, you should be good. As long as you're actually putting in the time and effort to not just play games of Pokemon in the current format, but also try and find an edge. And that is one thing about stuff like the Flareon box or like a Mega Absol deck compared to like a Golden Go. You need to innovate and find an edge. With Golden Go, you could run the same 65 tournaments in a row and the margin, like you maybe need to change some stuff, but the ideas of what you should change are going to be a little bit more out there, and you don't really have to like look too hard. People do the discovering for you a lot of the time. So for something like a Golden Go, you don't need to innovate to be successful. Something like a Flareon box or like a Mega Absol, you probably need to be pushing the envelope a little bit more aggressively, consistently, to actually be able to have consistent outcomes with a deck. So there's like that factor, I guess, for playing something a little bit more off meta or something like that. Yeah. How long should people give themselves to learn a brand new deck before a big major? 2 weeks, a month? It just depends on how much time you have to put into the game and how much experience you have in the game. More time is better, less time is worse, but there's a lot of other factors and variables from there. But yeah, interesting build here from Josh. Like I said, breaking it all down. Other Golden Go builds here from Pablo. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a lot more standard Did play the Premium Power Pro, no cram. Also had Lopunny and Lana's Aid. But what is, I just don't, what is the, isn't the Lana's Aid like, isn't the Lana's Aid mostly for Jellicent? Or is there something else that it's really good against? It does just get back energy? Is it like a 5th? We don't need a 5th superior energy retrieval. We barely use 3 of these things. Lana's Aid's best situation is Jelly, right? It's literally just for Jellicent, basically. Like almost never matters against Badoo anymore. We almost always have an extra energy in the deck or an energy of fighting. If we just like, it's really easy to save a fighting energy for Soul Rock. Like that should, if we, or not for Soul Rock. Yeah. It's really easy to save a fighting energy for Soul Rock. If we're losing to late game Badoo, we probably messed up. It's probably on us and we could have done something better every single time. Like late game Badoo against Pult should never be a win condition for Pult anymore. Almost never. Almost never. And if it is, we probably messed up. So it's basically just for Jellicent. But why are we stacking Lopunny and Lana's Aid? Does it really make that big of a difference? I feel like the Lopunny does enough, right? Maybe I'm trolling. Maybe it's not as good as... Maybe it's not enough. But I feel like whenever I play that matchup, like you set up the Lopunny does the work. They basically can't do the item lock thing anymore once you start attacking with Lopunny. They have to break the item lock. And then you're able to just like play the game normally from there. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but this feels like hella overkill. Also, there's no Ultra Ball or TM Evo in this list, and that is just bad. No Ultra Ball or TM Evo is just bad. So we need a way to find our Mega Lopunny. And I think if you play Mega Lopunny, you have to play Evo. After playing this deck, after playing Mega Lopunny Golden Go against Gardevoir, you have to play TM Evo. I think actually Ultra Ball you could theoretically not play, but you have to play TM Evo. Otherwise, there's no point in playing the Mega Lopunny. If you're not going to play the TM Evo, just don't play the Mega Lopunny. And then from there, Ultra Ball becomes the question on whether or not it should be included. There's actually one more thing I was going to mention about Josh's list. Oh yeah, Josh plays the 4 Fighting Gong, 4 Nest Ball. I'm pretty confident that 4 Nest Ball is just better than 4 Fighting Gong. In my play of it as well. But it seems like a lot of people are still undecided. We see 4 Nest Ball, 3 Gong here in this build from Pablo. Actually, that makes me... And now I'm kind of curious where people are... We're leaning at Birmingham. 4 Nest, 4 Gong. Okay, I mean, you could do 4-4 as well. That works. 4 Nest, 3 Gong. Okay, like to see it. So for anyone who wants my take on that, 4 Nest Ball should come before 4 Fighting Gong. 4-3. Okay, love to see it. And this list was from Daniel's still running the Double Buddy Poffin. Did come down from 3. Was at 3 at one point. Came down to 2. Actually, that is me. I'm curious. What was Drew just on literally the exact same 60 this time? Looks like it, yeah. All right. Back to Merida. Look at Pablo's list. Yurko still playing the Raging Bolt, and I believe it is actually the exact same build that Andres got second place with at Toronto. The E-Switch, the Vitality Band, Glass Trumpet, stuff like that in here. Sandy Shocks, Kangaskhan. Was the Turo in the build at Toronto? There was the Turo. Okay, yeah. So I think it is the exact same 60. Bolt Nor here. Had the Moltres. Not much else. We did have a Mega Absol cut here. Fernando, the world champ. That's a thick... Those are some thick toes in there. 2-2 Toedscruel. As the Golden Go tech of choice here. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that has to be the way to go. You're either going... I think you have to go Toedscruel, or you have to go Moltres. One of those two, I feel like the best way to go still. We could get to the point where you could bring back the Crustle or something like that, but I don't think we're there yet. Would you play Dango for UIC? I don't know. I haven't thought about... I don't know what I would play. Dango's a good deck, though. Any good deck is a fine play. You're too worried about what deck to pick and not worried about playing enough games with the deck, if you're asking the question. That's the true answer. One counter catcher, one E-Switch. No Ice Cream. 1-1-1 split on the... We're still playing the Lively Stadium. I feel like the Lively Stadiums honestly can just go from the deck. I don't know what situations and matchups that we're hanging onto it so much still, but it feels like it's just not worth the inclusion when there's stuff like the Town Store, the Watchtower, or now like the Risky Ruins even to include. Although you wouldn't play Risky Ruins in a build without the Moltres, obviously, I don't think, but Watchtower has to be bad. No, it's just for late game against Zard decks. It seems pretty good to me. Iono plus Watchtower at the end of the game. So Mega Absol continues to see some success. We had Kieran here with the other Grimmsnarl in cut. I think this is I saw him tweet playing the exact same 60 that Jordan played at Toronto. 3-3 Frostlass had the Badoo, had the Tatsu in here as well. Pretty standard stuff, though, besides that. No super odd. I don't know if I can still get behind the no super odd thing, to be honest. But maybe it is. Maybe it does work. Pretty much everyone's on the 3 spike month. Even Sunny here was on 3 spike month, right? Yeah. And then the Guardies, no Guardies in top 8, but they're all right here. Hanging outside the top 8 here. Joseph here, the highest placing Guardy here with a Guardy Jellicent build. Had the Watchtower in there. Yeah, the 2-1 Jellicent. I had a Psyduck in here as well. Hold up, the Duck? I mean, I can't say I've tested the Charizard matchup or the Pult matchup extensively, but it's probably good in both those matchups, right? Good against Charizard, good against Pult. Imagine being a Pult player, and you go up against a Guardy deck. You're like, all right, I'm already up against Guardy. That's kind of annoying, whatever. And then they bench a Duck. And now you just can't KO double Curlia, and you lose. That's kind of sad, to be honest. I feel bad for the Pult players. All right, we had Piper, Henry, and Gustavo all playing non-Jellicent Guardy. And is it just all the Henry Chow builds? Possible. And what was in this list for Piper? 1 Frillish, double Arvin, double Evo, Artisan, Henry here, Lux Cape. Oh no, I think Gustavo's definitely lives it. This is basically the Henry Chow build here for both of them, and then Gustavo was on Drifloon. Drifloon double Brave Charm, only 1 counter catcher, and then was playing the Mystery Guard in there as well. But yeah, nothing too crazy. No Turo, no Turo. Made the call to not play the Turo. Retreat Lock isn't that popular right now, so I don't hate that call, I don't think. But the Turo has like, Chow didn't play Research. Or was there no Research from Henry? Yeah, no Research. Good call. You think about Energy Search and 8 energies for Grim? I'm a little bit torn. I'd have to like play more with Grim. My most recent playing with Grim, I definitely missed the Energy Search. If you just like kind of draw an energy in your opening hand, though, Energy Search like isn't very good anymore. You'd always rather have more Night Treachers. So I don't know. I'd have to like play more with the deck. I have to play more with the deck. My last round of playing with the deck, I definitely missed the Energy Search, but seeing everyone starting to cut it and just include more energy, I like the idea for sure. And the Energy Search does have pretty low value because like if you just open an energy for your TM Evo, Night Treacher is just a better Energy Search at that point for the rest of the game. So it is like a pretty low value card. It's like good on that first turn to combo with TM Evo, and then from there it just completely falls off and it's just bad. So do you think that Kangaskhan Boufflant tank / reset deck is a real deck or another lackluster control? I don't know. I've played 0 games with that deck. No opinion on it. A couple more Pult Norse here. Miguel and Hedrick here making top cut with the Pult. Took a break last tournament, switch over to the Golden Go, but he's back on the Pult. And looks like Pult to me. And Hedrick's build also looks like Pult did not go the Moltres route here. Kept it pretty standard. Yep, couple of Pults, that's for sure. And then we'll look down to the top 32 here. Guardy from Jack Moore. Henry Chow 60. Pult Nor. That's Pult Nor. Raging Bolt from Andreas. From a 2nd place finish to 17th. Not bad. Back-to-back tournaments here for Andreas. Playing the exact same 60, it looks like, as well. Brent Tonneson started 9-0, I believe. Rough ending here for Brent. Top 32. Running back with the Jelly Guardy from Toronto. Might be the exact same 60 that he actually played at Toronto, to be honest. It's not Andreas, it's Andre. Is it Andres or is it Andre? Andres? Andres? Did you ever play Dialga with Archaludon? Yeah. Back in the day. Wait, did I? I think I did, yeah. Hedrick Salty, all the Pult made cut at Toronto. He went back. I mean, he got his cut. He got the cut with the Pult here. Worked out. What do you think between Brent and Chow Guardy builds? I have no preference. I have no idea. Do not have a strong opinion on Guardy. Both builds are good, that's for sure. Martin here with the Pult Nor. And did play the Moltres. Another Pulse art here. Jackson Ford. I did see Jackson tweet, though, that the deck is bad. So do with that what you will. One standout that I did notice between a couple of the lists is 2 Charmander versus 3 Charmander. I did test this deck a little bit before Toronto and came to the conclusion that I think the deck is still bad. But 2 Charmander felt pretty bad against Golden Go. I'll say that. Like if you prize one or just can't find another one aggressively, that is like one thing that stands out to me from Jesper's list is the 3 Charmander. For sure. Mauricio with the Golden Go. Heavily teched for Mir, Premium Power Pro plus Cram, and then did play the Mega Mawile as the cornerstone answer, or just late game attacker. Another top 32 for a control deck here as well. I said I don't really have an opinion on Pidgeot control. It's a deck. There's stuff in here that does things, and it can win games. Enough games for Mauricio to get 20, or for Adrian to get 22nd here. Gabriel Smart with the Charizard, Pidgeot, Terrazard deck. The Water Pond style build. Doesn't Pulsar lose to Grim? It's unfavorable, yeah. What do you think is better for Absol, Toadscroll, or the Moltres? No clue. One of them, though, for sure. I like the Torless, but I want a Brave Bangle. When I look at it, too, I thought there was a Brave Bangle in there. Trying to figure out why there's a Knackley. It took me a while. It took me a minute. This is the Water Pond build of the deck. All right, let me look at this. Only 1 Crispin. Unfair stamp. Oh, wait, that is weird. I didn't see there was an unfair stamp in here. I mean, I like unfair stamp, but like, I feel like our Water Pond potential is not very high. 1 Crispin. There is 2 waters in here, but 1 Crispin, no crystal. Like, can we even use this thing? Is this thing even usable? No Ditto as well to find it on the first turn? It feels like it's pretty tough to actually use the Water Pond in this build here. I don't know. Why is there a Knackley in this deck? We have Sudowoodo that has Impound. Knackley does 10 damage though, right? So can't you like... Isn't the Knackley for like... Yeah, isn't the Knackley for like trapping rocks or something like that, right? It just does less damage so it KOs slower. Like twice the amount of time. Because it's like the same thing against Monkey Door. You may as well play the Pseudo, but against like rocks or trapping like a Genesect, you do only 10. Most types of resist fighting and traps without doing damage. Well, no, but up against the ones where they don't. That is, it does. Pseudo does 20 damage. Knackley does 10. Does the Water Pond version beat normal Donzard? I have no clue. Couldn't tell you. No idea who's favored. Zach going here with a Grim. Played both bench sitters, the Shaman and the Duck. Pretty standard besides that, though. It looks like double Artisan, 2 Artisan, 2 Spikemuth. Usually we're seeing, everyone's like, it feels like everyone's doing the 1-3. 1 Artisan, 3 Spikemuth. Also had the Badoo in here. And then, yeah, no Energy Search on the 9 fighting. Also on the 3 Night Stretcher, no Super Rod. But it was a 3-3 Frostlass. Oh, it's a 3-2. Okay, interesting. Maybe that is enough to warrant not playing Super Rod. If you just like, because the Super Rod's biggest value, I feel like, was Super Rodding back a Frostlass instantly and then TM Evoing it back into play. But maybe once you go up to like such a thick Frostlass line, the Super Rod loses enough value where the Night Stretchers are just, that's it. Also, you have like a higher energy count as well. Like, so Super Rodding energy back to the deck for Grimstar doesn't become a thing. And you have 4 Monkey Dory and Night Stretchers, so like your opponent can't like chase down your Monkey Dories enough to the point where you need to like Super Rod them back aggressively. So yeah, I can maybe get behind the heavier Night Stretcher stuff for sure. Giovanni here running it back after getting the dub in Toronto. Top 30 finish here with the Guardy Jelly. Probably a pretty similar build, if not the exact same 60. Still running that Watchtower. A couple of Zards here. A Terrazard from Samuel. Looks like pretty standard stuff. The Prime. Jetson Klefki. Yeah. 2-1-2 Pidgeot. It doesn't seem like the 1-1-2 Pidgeot thing has like really has caught on very much. Or is like a thing. It feels like maybe after this weekend it'll become a thing. Diego here with... Didn't we see... Wasn't someone playing this deck at Toronto where it's like everything Charizard? It's like Charizard with all of the tech. Someone was playing like a 1-1 Toadscroll, a 1-1 Psyduck. Not quite everything in this build. There's no Golduck. There's a lack of Golduck in here. But besides the lack of Golduck, I actually kind of like this take on Zard, though. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like this. I like the idea of just being like, Charizard, we set up our Charizards and we protect our board. We Toadscroll, we got Golduck, we got Shaman, got Monkey Dory. Just playing like full board protection Zard. We just put all of the cards in the deck that protect our big Pokemon. Pidgeot's really good. Charizard's really good. I think if we're playing the Toad Scroll, though, the Baby Moltres is like really overkill. The Protect the King. Yeah, basically. It's like Protect the President style deck. The Moltres seems like overkill. If we're playing 1/1 Toad Scroll, like, do we really need do we need to go further into the Golden Go matchup? I don't know. Chi-Yu plus Toad Scroll seems like it's enough, to be honest. I'm not digging the Moltres inclusion alongside that. That's like a lot. It's a big investment for sure. Why do so many people have the 100 HP Charmeleon? It's worse in every way. It's just the 3 energy. It just has the 3 energy attack. I mean, that's the reason is for the 3 energy attack, though, right? I actually don't know for sure. I just played 2 of the 110 40 hitter personally. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the breakdown, to be honest. I haven't thought that hard about it. I was like, before Toronto, I was like discussing with Grant the Charmeleon inclusions, and he was like, play the Flare Veil one so you can beat Alakazam. I was like, okay. I was like, it doesn't really ever come up against Polt or TM Devo to have Flare Veil that much. In fact, the 110 HP one can come up against TM Devo more sometimes because it has more HP. And I was like, I don't know, one of the Charmeleons is just better than the other two neutrally. I'm just going to play the good Charmeleon. I didn't want to like think about it very hard. Although I'm sure you can come to conclusions to play this Charmeleon or the Flare Veil Charmeleon. But before Toronto, I was like, I don't want to think very hard about it. I'm just going to play the other one. Alakazam can just swing with Fanordum. Yeah, but you can Monkey Dory the damage back. You can Monkey Dory. It's not like a guaranteed win con, but you can go like Monkey Dory plus the attack. I don't think it's real. I don't think Flare Veil is real to beat Alakazam, but it is like a thing you could do technically. Whether or not it's a real win condition is questionable. Where were we at here? Guardy. Not quite the Chow Guardy. Yeah, but Drifloon build does still play the one Frillish. No Luxcape or anything like that. Another Polt. Nor from Matt. That's Bolt Nor. I'll just look at it real fast. This is the second and third highest placing Raging Bolt. 3 Raging Bolts in top 32. Not what we saw just do well recently, and the highest placing in this one as well. Cornerstone in here, plays the baby Koraidon. And then thick on the Teal Mask and the Raging Ball as well. Is Thundermane and Guardia a good tech? No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what it techs against. What are we teching? What is it teching against? I don't think it's teching against anything. How does the build beat anything? This? I mean, it's still Raging Bolt. What do you mean? Attack. I feel like if you're asking that question, you just don't know how to play Raging Bolt very well. If that's a question. If you're questioning how this deck beats anything, sure, it might not be the best way to play Raging Bolt, and the other build is probably better with the Water Pawn. But if you're questioning how this beats anything, I don't think you're very good with Raging Bolt. I'm not gonna lie. And then Aaron here, Terrazard, pretty standard stuff. Played a Terra Orb. We don't see that very often. Alongside the Ultra Ball as well. 1/1/1 Pidgeot. A little bit of a shake up on the Pidgeot line, but nothing crazy. All right, that's the top 32 decks. Chat, is there any number 40, the GOAT? Pablo Meza did play the Ceruledge. Pablo did play Ceruledge. And it might be the I think Ross was an influence as why he played Ceruledge at this tournament. This might be the exact same 60 here that Ross ran in Toronto recently. 47th. 47th. The Greninja is the highest placing Greninja out here. And was playing, I think Fabrizio played this list as well, right? At this tournament. The 1/1 Toad Scroll. Help you out against Golden Go a little bit there, obviously. All right. Someone explain this to me. Dude, there's 4 Hilda in here. That's so miserably slow, right? I guess there's 3 Lily and 3 Iono. Okay, maybe... Dude, that's so many Hildas, though. The Hilda just seems like so low value. I saw this list, I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, opening Hilda turn 1 sounds awful. Like, we're not doing anything with that. It gets our water energy for our... If we don't open a Poffin, though, we don't have a Froakie to put the water energy on. Or Hilda just seems like so much. Uncultural and Petrol. Yeah, I guess like Petrol's a little bit to extend to find the Grand Tree, and then Colress is obviously just like a powerful like quick search draw, or if you draw into it. Isn't more Colress better? I mean, that's what I would think for sure. You got 4 Evo lines? Yeah, but like finding one evolution is not like very high value. Like we need to set up a lot. Like searching your deck for a Greninja, like a Frogadier for turn, and then going Evolve Pass or Evolve Itchy Pollen just seems like way too slow. I bought his Metaphor deck, and he's saying he doesn't like heavy Colress builds. I can see that. I can see heavy Colress not being the way, but heavy Hilda feels like it doesn't feel like an improvement, I guess. Like it doesn't feel like it's like, all right, if you're against heavy Colress, it's like, okay, I can see that. But if the alternative is heavy Hilda, I'm like, okay, all right, I don't know about that. Like that feels like we went too far. Like we're staying in the same direction and we didn't improve anything, basically, is what I'm saying. That's what confuses me about the heavy Hilda. Also, the other thing that stood out to me is there's only 3 rare candy. It's like, okay, if we're playing 4 candy for Hilda, now there's like a little bit more synergy in the list, I feel like. But it's like 3 candy. I mean, 3 candy is still an okay amount of candy. Yeah, the list just looks off. I don't know. I'd have to play it for sure, of course. I've played 0 games with the deck, obviously. But it just feels so... The Hilda it just feels like it's so low value. Yeah, it just feels like it's so low value in the early game. Like I said, you still have Lilies and Ionos to back you up. That's only 6 cards. That's only, there's no Cleffa or anything in here to like just draw more cards. No Tatsugiri to help you dig through the deck. Stuff like that. So definitely interesting build. Also the TM Devo in here. A lot of you were asking me about TM Devo in this deck leading up to, or the last couple weeks. And I always said I just think the card seems bad. I haven't come around on it that much, to be honest. No Crisis Punch is weird as well. No Crisis Punch or Ursa Luna is also a little weird. I feel like Crisis Punch and Ursa Luna are both really, like, one of them is really good. Just having a closer, so you can just like straight up just punch your opponent a lot. Just punch them a lot and then close it out with a big hit. So the lack of either of those is also a pretty interesting exclusion here as well. But yeah, interesting frog build for sure. The Team Devo is for Nor on active Pult, and then Devo for Panic KO. Oh, it's literally just for like that situation. So you Nor their first Pult and then TM Devo it to like regain control of the board state. Okay. I can see it. 58th is a TM Devo Absol thing. Mega Absol has a TM Devo. We saw a similar list to this, like this, over in Birmingham as well. Panic Devo. I mean, if it works, it works. I can see it. I mean, that does seem like a strong line to have the option of. Cornerstone as well. 276. Okay, 276. Oh, doing what could not be done in Birmingham. The Sharpedo in day number 2. You love to see it. Sharpedo making a stand. What video did you just link, Triff? What is this link? We take a look at the new list Japan cooked up so far after rotation. We'll look at that next. I meant to send that to my chat. That was awkward. All right, chat. Is there any other list you want me to take a look at from day 2 here at Merida? Or are we good? We might be good. Maybe we've taken a look at enough lists. Another Greninja deck? Similar build. Toadstool. First? What do you mean? I took a look at first. All right, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for the recap of the Merida Regional Championships, Birmingham Regional Championships, and, I mean, what information I had of the Auckland Regional Championships. 44, the Dawn with Mega Man. 118. Okay. Last 2 lists. 44. There was a Manetric. Did we see them on the win-in actually? I think we saw them on the win-in for saw them on the win-in at Merida, or close. It was like second to last round maybe, so maybe not quite winning in. But yeah, right on deck. 1-1 Lopunny and 1-1 Mega Man. I'm not sure where those inclusions matter that much, but definitely he was quite a checked out list. Cut down to 1 Maridon. Had some Ionos in here as well, and a Jamming Tower. I know this has nothing to do with the tourney, but I was looking at building a Mega Fraligator deck when it comes out. Wondering if the Emolga from Twilight Masquerade could make it viable. Nothing will make that thing viable. I'm sorry. There's still a best way to play the deck, but it will never be. Yeah, viable. It will never be. It will never be viable. Terra box? More like Terra Bull box. All right, that's going to do it. Recap, Merida, Birmingham, Auckland.